Thank you. Meeting is called to order. First speaker will be Tom Chapman.
Good afternoon, Vice Mayor, the rest of the council. My name is Tom Chapman, for the record, and I reside at 102 West Maryland. Can you hear me, Jim?
Yes.
Just make sure that's on. I reside at 102 West Maryland Avenue, Unit B2, and I'm here today as a longtime member of the Phoenix Mountain Preservation Council, a past Vice President and Vice Chair of the 3PI Committee. I'd like to read a statement that we have concerning the position of the Department of Transportation South Mountain Freeway Draft Environmental Impact Study. It'll only take up briefly. PMPC is an organization put into place by Arizona visionaries, and for the last 40 years, PMPC has continued to monitor and anticipate the impact that rapid population growth would have on our precious mountain preserve system. Phoenix Mountain Preservation Council is steadfastly opposed to any alignment of the Loop 202 South Mountain Freeway that allows for trespass into the mountain preserve for any excavation into South Mountain whatsoever. These mountain preserves ensure that a lifestyle that 80% of Arizona voters consistently support. The mountain preserves are unique and for people and wildlife and not for vehicles. The taking of this preserve will destroy important archaeological, spiritual, cultural, and recreational sites that with no realistic or reasonable mitigation possible. Over 3 million visitors come to the South Mountain Park annually, according to our own City of Phoenix statistics. Destroying any part of the mountain to align a high-capacity freeway will only have a negative impact on tourism and in many unique resources the park offers. And I end with a question to all of you, whether you're on the phone or whether you're present. When was the last time you all took your children, Mayor, your twins, Zelda, your grandchildren, et cetera, the rest of you, down to South Mountain Park and went on the top and looked at that incredible view? The mountain cannot be destroyed. It has to be preserved in its entirety. Please remember that.
Thank you. And thank you for the promotion to mayor, but it's vice mayor. But I appreciate that. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Okay, Pat Lawless.
Mr. Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Pat Lawless, president of a grassroots organization called Protecting Arizona's Resources and Children, or PARC. PARC came into existence in 2006 out of concern about the proposed Loop 202 South Mountain Freeway, known as the SMF, both because of the negative effects the SMF would have on surrounding communities as well as South Mountain, and also because the entire concept of the SMF has been questionable from the beginning. After ADOT released its draft environmental impact statement, or DEIS, on the SMF in April of 2013, PARC sought out experts to evaluate the various aspects of the DEIS. These were all well-credentialed experts, and their expertise covered all aspects of the DEIS. ADOT released a final environmental impact statement, or FEIS, this past Friday, supposedly to fix the problems PARC and others uncovered in the DEIS. And our experts will be evaluating this document as well. Preliminary indications are that none of the major issues have been resolved in the FEIS. Many grassroots organizations fail in their attempts to oppose government projects because they're not well prepared in that they do not establish the proper foundation for legal action. That is certainly not the case for PARC. We have established and will continue to establish solid objections to the SMF based on expert analysis of the law and ADOT's feeble attempts to make it look like they are working within the law. We are well prepared for a lawsuit to stop this project, and we expect to win it. You may wonder why ADOT continues to try to push the SMF on Phoenix if the SMF blatantly violates multiple laws. PARC believes there are two possibilities. Either ADOT officials are so arrogant and incompetent that they cannot recognize the many ways in which the SMF violates laws established to protect the public against just this type of freeway disaster, or else ADOT is being influenced by strong outside interests who care only about making money, not making sense for the people of Phoenix. Take your pick. Today, various park members will discuss the main points of why the SMF must be stopped, with each addressing one serious problem with the proposed freeway. In spite of ADOT's denial, the SMF is obviously intended to be a truck bypass going through the city, when truck traffic should be kept far outside the city limits to the extent possible. Although some on the council have been provided information about the adverse consequences of the SMF, they have not been vocal about these issues to the entire body. So we are all here today to provide basic information on the SMF and request an active, transparent investigation of these issues by the mayor and the Phoenix City Council, along with a resolution opposing the SMF. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is Ken, Lapierre, I think. I didn't want to get it wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Ken Lapierre. Thanks for the opportunity to take the time to talk to you about traffic flow. I'm disappointed that all of the district reps are not here. I'm very disappointed the mayor's not here as well. Primary objective of this South Mountain Freeway is to divert and improve traffic flow, which really looks great on paper, but in reality, it's not good at all. As a commuter who drove downtown for 5 years from Ahwatukee, there will be no incentive for commuters in Ahwatukee to take this route because the end point would dump you out and not get you downtown. In fact, it would dump you out on eastbound I-10 at 59th Avenue. This would add traffic flow to one of the busiest parts of the I-10 in rush hour. The commute would actually end up taking longer. Think about it. Just think about this. It won't shift a lot of traffic away from I-10 in total. In addition, some of us who live in the 6th District will now have to deal with new and unintended traffic congestion since we will lose Pecos Road. For example, I'll have to drive from residential streets, which are basically from 29th Avenue to 17th Street to get on the one on-ramp. And this is a crazy lack of concern for residential traffic flow, which is a big omission in the study. Oh, by the way, local traffic congestion, pollution, and noise is still not mitigated in the final environmental impact study. ADOT's claim that it would improve traffic flow is not real reasonable to me. Even though ADOT admits the improved traffic flow is overstated, they have recently had to revise their own analysis. They now see that traffic counts have been flat or slightly elevated for the past 5 years in Metro Phoenix. Since no one in city government seems to care about the residents where I live, Park had to hire an independent traffic engineer, Herman Basmasian, to examine the alleged facts used for traffic modeling and forecasting. He stated that even if one assumes that the traffic flow estimates are accurate, which they're not, South Mountain Freeway would not alleviate the deficiencies in capacity identified for the purpose and need of this freeway. In fact, there would still be traffic deficiencies. Folks, this is really a David and Goliath story. As the facts are documented, it seems that the freeway's goal is perhaps for trucking from Mexico, and not for helping the folks that actually live and pay taxes in your district. As a business person, I'm all about the opportunity for growth, but can't we do this without destroying the Ahwatukee community and adding to traffic congestion? All of you took an oath of service to represent the best interests of the people. I am one of the people fighting for what's right in Phoenix. Please don't let this become a new truck bypass route, letting more trucks come close to all of us who love to call Phoenix home. Thank you very much for your time. I'd like to submit the EPA's commentary on traffic analysis for your further review and consideration. I have
Thank
some
you.
documents
Next speaker is Bill Dreckman?
Thank you.
Diekman, sorry.
Mr. Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bill Diekman. I've been a resident of Ahwatukee 19 and a half years. I'm a member of Park, and I want to talk a little bit more about traffic in regards to the Loop 202 South Mountain Freeway. I recently reviewed a very creative video simulation of an air view over the proposed freeway. It must have been produced back when ADOT and MAG were still passing the route off as an east-to-west valley bypass for local residents. as there was no vehicle in the free-flowing traffic larger than an SUV, not a single solitary truck. Now, we all know that trucks arrive in, depart from, and pass through the Valley of the Sun day and night, every day, and we all have a good idea of the routes they use. But in addition to current traffic, there are two pending sources of vastly increased truck traffic aimed squarely at Phoenix and surroundings: the planned Union Pacific Red Rock classification yard near Picacho Peak and the NAFTA-mandated Canamex corridor. Union Pacific and Pinal County hope that their inland port will attract other manufacturing and distribution businesses to the area. Union Pacific's objective is to minimize rail freight traffic on its spur line to Phoenix, which currently requires backtracking empty freight cars to Tucson. The new yard would allow them to transfer this freight, plus that from the new businesses, from rail cars to trucks for transport to and through Phoenix. The new businesses would hopefully include international firms locating in the foreign trade zone at nearby Pinal County Airport. And that leads us to the Canamex corridor. 8 alternative routes defined in a year 2000 study included 3 using existing routes through Phoenix and 2 the existing Interstate 8 State Route 85 route, 5 non-starters for truckers looking for shortcuts. The remaining 3 utilized a Riggs Road to 19th Avenue to Loop 202 South Mountain Freeway route. And it just so happens those routes deliver all that traffic, including tankers carrying hazardous materials, to the densest trucking and warehouse facility area in the whole valley. How convenient. But the fundamental reality of Canamex is that none of these alternative routes, including the proposed Interstate 11, will ever come to pass. According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, both the highway account and mass transit account of the Highway Trust Fund are nearing insolvency. By default, then, the proposed South Mountain Freeway would become part of the Canamex corridor. Moreover, U.S. diesel fuel is limited to 2 parts per million, while Mexican diesel allows 15 parts per million. U.S.-bound trucks will fuel up on this dirtier diesel in Nogales and burn it while traversing the South Mountain Freeway. Thus, the South Mountain Freeway will not relieve the burdens of truck traffic, but will significantly add to them and then concentrate their ill effects in the valley's most environmentally vulnerable area, where southerly winds in South Mountain will trap it. 80,000 people live there, 14,000 of whom are children who go to school right next to the source. But air pollution is another story all its own. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next is Karen Fontana.
My name is Karen Fontana, and I am a member of PARC. Air pollution is a major concern in the Phoenix metropolitan area. ADOT claims that one of the main reasons the South Mountain Freeway is needed would be to reduce air pollution overall. This claim is based on ADOT's improved traffic flow assertion that assumes that no additional traffic would be introduced into the Phoenix area. We have already shown that traffic flow claim is unsubstantiated. ADOT's DEIS states that the South Mountain Freeway without the South Mountain Freeway, Phoenix freeways would operate at capacity, but also states that with the proposed freeway, Phoenix freeways would operate at capacity. For this to be true, it seems clear that the South Mountain Freeway is expected to induce traffic that does not currently exist. A significant amount of additional traffic would be introduced into the valley, a great deal of which would be truck traffic. Phoenix tends to have poor air quality frequently, and monitoring is very important. Many resources are currently dedicated to the task. Air quality modeling is also important to predict the effects of potentially harmful entities that would be introduced into the Phoenix area. To conform to the National Environmental Policy Act, ADOT had to include a discussion of air quality modeling into its draft study. They had to prove that the South Mountain Freeway would not increase pollution anywhere in the Phoenix area. There are well-established methods for this type of modeling. The DEIS does not use any of these modeling methods. Further, it does not use any air quality readings in the area within the influence of the airshed of South Mountain, including Ahwatukee. The Environmental Protection Agency reviewed the air quality portion of the DEIS and gave ADOT a rating of inadequate, the lowest possible rating. The EPA offered to help ADOT with proper modeling techniques. All of this leads to more questions. Either ADOT did not know about well-established methods for this type of modeling, or it understood that the use of proper techniques would show a significant increase in air pollution as a result of the South Mountain Freeway, both in Ahwatukee and the West Valley. This is a matter of the air we all breathe. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Corey Salome. Thank you for coming.
Vice Mayor Warren, members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Corey Salemi, and I'm a member of PARC as well as a sophomore at Desert Vista High School. There are good reasons that the government has set standards for air quality. High risk of known health problems is associated with poor air quality. It has long seemed risky to build freeways close to schools, but until very recently there was no scientific proof of that risk. Well, now there is. Dr. George Thurston, a full professor at the New York University School of Medicine in the Department of Environmental Medicine, is one of the most foremost recognized experts on the human health effects of air pollution. He cites numerous studies that have documented the human health effects of air pollution. He cites numerous studies that have documented the role of traffic-related pollution in respiratory health. The evidence is sufficient to support a causal relationship between exposure to traffic-related air pollution and exacerbation of asthma. Moreover, exposure to traffic-related air pollution reduces the ability for children to properly grow and develop their full lung capacity. Dr. Thurston specifically pinpoints these dangers from the SMF for children who attend any of the 15 schools located within a half mile of the proposed SMF, what we are referring to as the hot zone. These schools are Kyrene de la Estrella Elementary School, 506 students. Kyrene de los Lagos Elementary School, 530 students. Kyrene del Milenio Elementary School, 701 students. Kyrene de la Sierra Elementary School, 720 students. Kyrene Akimala Al Middle School, 1,085 students. Desert Vista High School, 2,923 students. Keystone Montessori School, 203 students. Horizon Community Learning Center, 1,499 students. St. John Bosco Interparish Catholic School, 144 students. Betty Fairfax High School, 1,760 students. Cheatham Elementary School, 940 students. Sunridge Elementary School, 572 students. Country Gardens Charter School, 391 students. Western Valley Middle School, 796 students, and Western Valley Elementary School, 661 students. That is a grand total of more than 13,000 students whose respiratory health would be adversely affected by the air pollution of the SMF. Dr. Thurston's work has also found a high risk for seniors who live in the SMF hot zone. These seniors are at significantly higher than expected risk of heart attack and premature mortality. Furthermore, Dr. Thurston indicates that there are a host of other adverse health effects that could result from human exposure to the air pollution emitted by the proposed SMF that, while less proven, are also not sufficiently acknowledged by the DEIS. These other adverse health effects may include increased risk of lung cancer and adverse birth outcomes. Thank you for listening and considering these potential health dangers of the SMF.
Thank you very much, Corey.